Clubhouse. And
Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet.
all right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you're here and that you're back at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to start and you want me to just jump in, or how?
Just go ahead and jump in. You know, I mean, you have an agenda for sharing database connections with them, and I'm just here just to, you know, kind of reconnect with everybody.
Good. Okay, so before I start kind of telling you, you know, what I do or what I know other agents do, I would love to know from everybody that's on, how many people do you currently have in your database, and are they in command? So whoever wants to jump in, let me know. Who do you have in your, how many people do you know, if you do know, and if they're in command, because I do use things in command, but there's other things we can talk about as well. So I don't know, Nate, do you know how many people you have in yours about?
I have 100 almost on the nose, like it's really right about at 100, and yes, they're in command.
You have yours in command, okay. Jennifer's got 122, and are you using command? Yes, no? Okay. Petey, where are you at with getting people into your database?
I'm at about 140.
That's great. That's great. And I know you have yours in command, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Catherine, I know you're using command, right? How many people about do you have, do you think?
Yeah, I was actually just trying to pull up command to see how many contacts I have, and it's not coming up. But
there's issues. I was doing text messages for birthdays about an hour ago, and I'm getting error messages. So
gotcha.
You might not be able to find it.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to say about 164.
Okay, that's awesome.
In that area.
Yeah. Okay, Ebony, I know you're really new. Do you have people in your database? Are you gathering names? Okay.
I have 49 people.
That's great. And are they in command?
Yes, they are in command.
Woo-hoo! All right. So I love that this group has people in your database and that they're in command, because there's so many great ways to stay connected that don't cost you anything. If you're using email, or if you're setting up the smart plans that have email, I would, if you do not have it, I would highly suggest getting a text number through command through Twilio. Okay, you don't have a lot of people, so you're not using a lot of data in it, and it's very inexpensive. I use a lot of smart plans, so I have a lot of text messaging going out. So Twilio is the service that will provide you a phone number, and you can do it right through command. And then you can text your clients directly through command. The reason that's really important is because when you want to communicate about any kind of possible client event you might have, or anything else that's going on, sending a text message is going to get read far more often and faster than an email. Okay, so you can email through command using smart plans. But here's what, and today is a perfect example for how it's easy for you guys to stay in touch with that particular group. So the very first thing I would say is, if you don't have a Twilio text number, get one. I have a lot of contacts in my database, and it's $21.60 a month. Okay, that's pretty cheap to have an automated system that's going to help you stay in touch.
And they have really low end plans too. I mean, you can start out, I think it's like $3.50.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's under $5 a month, and that's probably all you guys need. I mean, I have 2,100 people, so I send a lot more, and I have a lot of smart plans. That includes text messaging, and I have everything I set up for my client events, which we're still doing, includes text reminders. So I use a lot. You guys won't need that. Yeah, I knew it was cheap, so thanks, Steph. I just didn't know how much.
Yeah, they stagger them. I think there's like a 3, a 5, an 11. You
Yeah,
know,
mine's high because I have a lot, but it's not a lot of money.
yeah, and it's literally like 7/10 of a penny per text.
Yeah.
So if you take that, you know, like $5 and divide that out, I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah,
it's
you can,
1 cent.
yeah, you can connect with a whole lot of people. So the very important piece of this for you as newer agents, as you grow this, is that also know that there are hundreds and hundreds of smart plans that are already created for you. You don't even know how to do it. Okay. The very first thing that I would recommend you do, and I have had 4 conversations today specifically because of this. The first thing you do is call your people or text them directly. I would say call them and get birthdays. Okay. So when you call people, and especially if you're new, you can just say, hey, you know what? I'm so excited to tell you I've got my real estate license and I'm with the biggest, bestest real estate firm in the world. And I'm gathering up information from all the people I know and love so I can stay in touch. You could ask for an address if you don't have it. You can ask for a cell number if you don't have it, email if you don't have it, and or call and just say, no, by the way, when's your birthday? I've never had anybody not give me their birthday, ever. Okay. There is a place in the contact information, put their birthday in, and then it's really easy. It's about 3 clicks to add the birthday smart plan. And what will happen in the birthday smart plan, if you pull the one that's already there, and if you're not using the tasks in command, I would highly recommend you do that. It will give you, if you go into your tasks, you also get an update every day from Kelly saying you have 7 tasks for today. You can log into command and it's going to say, guess what? 3 days from today, it's so-and-so's birthday. Call them, do a social media post. It's going to give you all of the lists, the tasks that you should do. And if you have a Twilio number set up, on the day of their birthday, they're going to get a text. The number one thing you should do though is when you set that text message up is to tell everybody, and you can do a group email right through command or through your own email that says, hey, just want you to know, I have a second phone number that's dedicated just for texting. It's this number. So if you get a text from this number, just know it's me. You might want to put it in your contacts. Because when they first started this, we all jumped in and I had all kinds of people going, who is this? Why are you texting me? I don't even know who you are. And then we all learned really fast to go, oh yeah, we should probably tell people, because people get a little freaked out when they see something coming from a number they don't know. But what happened today is I had 4 birthdays today. And 2 of those people responded right away. And one of them just called me and said, hey, I was talking to my coworker and they are looking to buy their first home. Thanks for the text. I just sent them your contact information. They might have not thought of it, except that they got a text from me. Okay, so when you're talking about staying in touch with your database, because we're building relationships, those are the types of things that I have found over time, and I know Steph has as well, that you're really helping build that relationship. So you've got a reason to call them. They get a text for their birthday. You should be touching people. And we talk about a 36 touch. Sometimes those touches are a lot more, but at least 36 times. The second thing that I would recommend, and I know some of you that have been in Ignite with me, we talked about from your friends. And we're expanding what we do with From Your Friends, and I want to tell you about that because From Your Friends is a postcard that gets sent out to your clients. Nate, did you decide to do it? You're doing it, right? as well. So from your friends, it's incredibly cheap. Even if you have the least amount, I mean, what are you paying? I think it's what, 87 or 92 cents?
I think it's 91 or 92 cents
91,
per.
yeah. Okay, so 91 or 92 cents. If you have 100 people in your database, it's going to cost you $92. They send it. You don't have to do a thing. And what it is it's a, buy one, get one free dinner, or, buy a dinner of $15 or more and get another one of $15 equal value free. And they're local businesses. So From Your Friends does all of the work. They call the local restaurants, they call the local businesses. Actually, Katie, you could call them if you wanted to get the word out. They look for nominations from us for places in the area.
Good idea.
And there's marketing and advertising on it. And what a lot of us are doing, and we're willing to build on this and share. We just started talking about this last month. The restaurant for January is Saz's. Saz's, we actually, Tina called them. They sent us a little video that they did. And so I used BombBomb and sent the video out to all of my clients that are getting this postcard and just said, hey, just want to let you know, watch your mailbox. This month it's Saz's. And I included their little video. So now there's another touch. Now I've not tried it, so I'm not the tech person, but I know that you now can put a video link in command emails. So you could do that, or you could do your own little video and put the link in there to just remind, hey, everybody, Happy New Year. Just want to let you know, watch your mailbox. Saz's is our restaurant, and it's good for 60 days. So now I can send another touch at the end of the month and just say, oh, by the way, don't forget, you've got until February 28th. Now, if you take it a step further, and if you can take, I know you probably won't have all, I know I can't get all, but if most of my clients that I'm friends with on Facebook, now you can create a group. And it's From Your Friends group. And now you can post it on Facebook as well, just specifically to that group. So now you've got the postcard going out, an email, and a Facebook post. So if you do that every month, that's 3 of your touches right there. So, but I think the biggest thing to also remember is to touch them around things that are not necessarily real estate related, like the birthday. The other smart plan that is in Facebook in Command, there's also a holiday smart plan. So you can set all your clients up, super easy click, but you have to have a Twilio number because it's a text message. Thanksgiving was trying to think of exactly what, and follow Command for Conversion on Facebook, because Nick Baldwin is the one that puts most of these together. It's hey, happy Thanksgiving, hope all is well with you. What's for dessert? So it's asking a question. So they have to respond to you. And the downside is that it's your Twilio number. And so you have to be logged into Command to respond back to them. It'll pop up on your phone. You'll know it's there, but you can't respond from your phone yet. That is coming, just not right now. But I responded. I had communication back and forth with people. So that's another touch. It's a conversation. It's not just hey, happy Thanksgiving.
I did do the holiday plan here. It was the Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Mm-hmm. And like you said, on my phone, on the Kelly app, I got about 50 text messages back. What I did, because I didn't want to go on my computer and go on Command, I'm like sitting on the sofa, watching TV or something. And I just go on my phone because I have everyone also in my phone. So then, say Chris texts me and says, oh yeah, we're having your pie for dinner, so then I go, oh great, so glad you guys got to come. I had one weirdo who went like, WTF, you text more than my old lady. And I'm going, okay, guess what? You're now off. He's like, we'll reach out when we're ready to buy or sell, you know? And it's not someone that I had a strong connection with. So, you know, a lot of my clients, I really develop a good friendship. They bought, you know, and it was maybe like 3 years ago. And I've been sending them, I've got something similar to From Your Friends, a little newsletter that goes out. And it's touchless, so I don't do anything. It's from TPMCO, the personal marketing company. And so it does have a recipe on the back. It's not just a recipe card though, because some coaches always joke about how like, oh yeah, are you a realtor or are you like a recipe queen, right? But so I have that's gone out for years to everyone. I had done a magazine for a while, which I just found to be too pricey and not, you know, cost effective. But it's interesting, you know, when you're trying to keep that top of mind awareness, how most people, I would say like 99% of people
Mhm.
are just so appreciative and thankful. I get texts from these things where people say, you are just so caring. Boy, you're just always thinking about other people. I love how you run your business. You know, it's so, you know, unique from most business people. You know, and so you normally get gratitude. And
Yeah,
so I was just like so put off when I got this text from this guy. And I just,
and it happens.
I'm taking you out of my command. I'm not like,
It
sending
happens. I had one too. I had one when I did the very first birthday text. And I had one that is like when I was asking for birthdays, who's like, I'm not giving you my birthday. I know you, but you might just try and scam me. I'm like, really? He's a crabby guy anyway, so it's okay. I took him out. I'm like, whatever, you know, whatever. But like one of them I got today, and he sent a text back, and like Steph said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for remembering my birthday. How are you guys doing? You know, he's asking me, and now I can have this conversation with him. And
especially in this pandemic, you know, people are just so like hungry for personal contact and communication. Um, yeah, just to
yeah,
be
there's never, this is an amazing time for us to show that we really care about the people in our database. You know, yes, business is part of the process. We're looking to try and build our database and build our business. But when you build relationships, um, people don't care what you know until they know you care. And the more you show you care about them and that you're there for them and that you will help them, the more they'll remember who you are and what you do. You're trying to create advocates, people that are like us as realtors. And I jokingly say this, but I have, and you won't have a lot. So if you've got, you know, 500, let's say you build your database to 400 or 500. If you look at that, you're probably going to have no more than 50 that are truly going to be your core advocates that are going to send you referrals all the time. But those are the people who, like a realtor, will be in a restaurant and hear somebody 3 tables away talking about buying or selling a house. Because we all go, huh? Oh, wait, I'm going over. I need to go talk to those people. Sorry, guys, eat your dinner. We hear that, we pick up on it. So what it is that the more they hear from you and the more they know you care, the more they remember you. Their reticular activator is now going full tilt. When somebody says real estate, they immediately say, hey, you need to call my realtor. You need to call my friend. She's in real estate and she's really good and she's an awesome person. So there's multiple purposes to staying in touch with your database. Obviously, the number one is we're trying to grow our business, but we grow our business because we grow our relationships. And if you don't stay in touch, they won't remember you. It's like buying a car. You decide you want to buy a black Toyota Avalon. And the minute you make that decision, all of a sudden they're all over the place. You see them every time you're driving, you see commercials. It's like, oh, wait, how does that happen? It's just because you're aware. And we're trying to grow their awareness and have them remember who we are and what we do. But we also have to be cognizant of how we make them feel. Does that make sense? Okay. So yes, we had to pivot a lot in regards to client parties and touching people. Call people, but make sure you're calling. And even if don't call for necessarily a business reason. Call them, just, hey, how you doing? How's the family? One of the questions, because I know it's hard to have that conversation, especially when you're newer and you're trying to build your business. One of the questions that I think really gets people talking is anything new, what's new that's happened since the last time we talked. Ask them a what has happened question, because they can't respond nothing. So when you're thinking about scripts, when you're calling people, don't say, hey, how are you? Fine. What's new? Nothing. But if you say, hey, you know what? I know we talked about 6 weeks ago. What's happened since the last time we talked? Tell me what's new. You're more likely to get them to say something other than nothing. They might still say, not much. But at least you're trying to ask the question that isn't just a yes or no. How are you doing? Fine. Nobody's ever going to say anything other than, oh, we're doing okay or fine. Because now you're trying to dig, what does that mean? And then and I don't know how much you guys have talked about scripting, but there's something called the Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Ask them a question about one of those 4 things. If they don't, how you doing? Fine. What's happened? What new has happened since last time we talked? Oh, nothing really. Yeah, everybody's kind of hanging out. How's the family doing? How are the kids? If they have kids. How's work? Are you still working from home? How's that working out for you? Because those are also questions that show you care about them. You're not just calling about business. No, that's not to say, hey, do you mind if I put my real estate hat on for a minute? I have a quick question for you. And ask a question. So if you're a newer agent and you're calling someone that is a friend or a prior business acquaintance or whatever, if they don't already know what you're doing, then it's hey, can I put my real estate hat on, or can I put my business hat on for a minute? Sure, no problem. Hey, I got my license. I'm now selling real estate. I'm really excited about this great career. If you were looking to buy or sell a home or knew someone who did, do you have a realtor that you know and trust? And I know some of you have heard this before, but always use that when you're meeting somebody new. Even if you've been in the business a while, when I meet somebody new, even when you're meeting somebody new, ask them questions. Ask them what they do. Hey, it's really nice to meet you. You're being introduced by somebody else. So what do you do for a living? Because now they're going to hear you caring about them, and they're going to ask you the same question. Hey, you know what? I sell residential real estate. For Keller Williams, we have the biggest, brokerage office in Waukesha County. Have you ever heard of us? Because a lot of times people haven't yet if they're a little bit older. Then you can always ask the question, if you were looking to buy or sell or knew someone who did, do you have a realtor that you know and trust? If they say no, you can ask them, hey, you know what? I reach out from time to time, just touching people with, sometimes it's real estate related information that people like to see. Sometimes it's just fun stuff. Would it be okay if I, stayed in touch and then get their information? So it's a good way to add to your database. But when you're making the calls, when you're new, make sure you ask that question, because if you ask them, if you can, send them information or stay in touch, you might be investing time and money in somebody who says, yeah, my sister-in-law is a realtor and we would call her if we knew someone. So you kind of want to know that up front. Now,
Chris, can I
ahead.
interject here? First of all, I think one critical component of what you're saying is how, and I see you doing this, and I know it's part of your natural way of doing things, but it is stopping and listening. You stop talking. You allow them, you give them permission to say what it is they want to say. I think sometimes as new agents, we are so quick to be like, "Ba, ba, 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 ba," and we don't want to hear that silence, but we have to. We have to stop, let them answer,
Mhm.
and then move forward with whatever it is they answered.
Yeah.
So I think that's critical for what you're teaching. Two, I have a friend whose sister-in-law is an agent, and I said, if she ever gets out of the business, I'm your backup, right? So I'm still spending money on him.
Right. No, exactly. Exactly. And Catherine, thank you for that. Because I think, especially when you're newer, and even those of us who aren't still do it, we don't listen, like really listen, because our brains are already thinking of the next thing we're going to say. It's the love-hate relationship with the script. We get so focused on the script and what we're saying or what we want to say that we forget to listen to what the person on the other end of the conversation is saying. And even if you're asking, hey, how you doing? Anything new happen? What's happened that's new since the last time we talked? Listen to it and then let that conversation go where they're taking it, because then they really feel like you care about them and you're listening to them. And it's extremely rare that they still don't ask you, even if you're having the conversation, don't ask you about real estate. So how are you doing? How's the market? And the response to that question is, and this is really, really hard, the response to that question is, well, that depends. You want to know about buying, selling, or investing? Because if you don't know why they're asking, and they might just say, oh, just in general, I was just curious. Then you tell them, what you know about the market. And be a student of the market, pay attention to that. What else? I mean, parties, I don't know. Are you interested at all in learning about some of the things we're doing with online parties or things we've done? Are you guys at that point, or would it be better? I want you to tell me what's most important to you to maybe talk about some different ways to add to your database. And what do you guys think? What would you rather hear? Because I have some really different ideas that have come out about adding that some of you probably have already heard. I don't know, stuff. What's more important to you guys?
Adding to the database.
Adding? Okay. So some of you that were in Ignite already know about the Facebook Messenger exercise. And if you were on with Jenny Wolick when she did a presentation, you would have heard about it as well. So of those of you that have heard about it, have you done it, and have you done it consistently? Catherine's shaking her head. I know
I've done it, but not consistently. And I only recently got back to it, and right off the bat, 3 questions out, 3 answers back with their name, address, phone number. So I forgot the magic.
All right, so everybody, this is easy, but try not to do it all at once. And I can actually either send it to Steph and you can post it or send it out. But I actually have the whole list of different scripts. So here's the deal. And I've never had anybody not answer yet, and Catherine hasn't either. Be consistent. Send a Facebook Messenger to everyone in Facebook. How many friends do you guys have? Hundreds? Over 1,000? Think about all your Facebook friends. I have mine separated out because I have a big realtor group, which I want to touch on as well. But, and I'll send out, I've got the scripts that came from Jenny Rolick. So for those of you, especially for those of you that are doing this as, that you're a dual career, you just say, here's for a message. Hey, it's Nate, how have you been? I'm excited because I just joined one of the best real estate companies in the area. It's a part-time job for now, and I'm updating my teams, or I'm updating my, my database. And we send out real estate info from time to time, videos and tools periodically. If you're new, part of First Script is I'm just starting my real estate career, and I really need to be better about staying in touch with the people I know and care about. I'll be sending out business cards when they come in. Would you mind replying with your home address, phone number, and email to help me out? Copy and paste it. You can send out a whole lot in a day. But from experiences of other agents that have done this, don't do any more than 20. Because you're going to get bombarded with stuff coming back. And the thing is that when they respond, you want to continue that conversation. Okay, so if I'm sending out, hey, it's Chris, hi, how have you been? I'm updating my real estate database, and I'd like the opportunity to send you real estate info and some other fun stuff from time to time. And I mean, the script for her, what she sent out is, my real estate business was amazing last year, and I need to be better about staying in touch with the people I know. Would you mind replying with your home address, phone number, and email to help me out? When they do, then it's like, hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Is there anything I can do to make your life easier right now, real estate or otherwise? If you're going to respond to say thank you, you need to ask them a question that they have to answer. Because the more you keep them engaged, the deeper into their memory you're going to get. And if they say, nope, not at this time, thanks so much. Just know that I'm here for you. If you need a contractor or anything else, I have lots of connections, and we're really happy to help. I'll be in touch soon. So make sure that that conversation keeps going when they respond. But if there's an amazingly simple way to add people to your database, this is it. And just start with the letter A and see where you cut off that day, and do, even if you do 5, even if you do 3, if you do 3 a day and they respond, even if 1 responds, you're adding a lot. That's a big add to your database. And then make sure you stay in touch with them. Call them every once in a while. Set them up in command on a smart plan. Because the more you stay in touch, the more they're going to remember you. So that is one of the biggest things that I thought was brilliant to add to your database.
Can I pop in again? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you put them into your database, you can actually task yourself to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
So then based on the conversation that you had, you can actually say, follow up on dog surgery on X day. And that way you are putting yourself back into their lives in a timely manner that makes sense for you. So.
Are you guys using notes? Those of you that are calling and your people are in command. When you call, are you using the notes in command? Okay, put the notes in and then set up the next call. Just Catherine, because I agree with and do that. Set it up because it's going to come up as a task and have it in there. Follow up on this. The other way to touch is, which sounds really bad, but stalk your people on Facebook. And then take these people when they respond, create a group. Do you guys know how to create a separate group? Like you can take your Facebook contacts and put it in a family group. So if you want to show something to just your family, you can grab that group and just post something. Put these people in your real estate contact group on Facebook. Because it makes it easier when you want to stalk them and find a way to reach out and find out something that's going on in your life and pay attention. Pull up that group and scroll through and see what everybody.
Yeah, I think, that's so key, because even if you don't want to be doing, say, the Twilio, you don't want to spend money on that part yet. Like Chris is saying, if you can do something with your Facebook group and like watch them, follow them, and you can do so much in command, like she said, just with notes and tasks. You can set up like a quarterly call plan, and then if you have notes in there, then and what it'll do is it'll just cycle you through, and it'll tell you if you have 100 people, it'll tell you how to reach each one of them, in each quarter of the year. So 4 times a year, you're going to reach out. Maybe it's sending them a text. Maybe it's writing them a handwritten note. Maybe it's physically picking up the phone and calling them, but then engaging organically in their lives, commenting, on what's going on. When someone gets a new job, they have a baby, these are all life experiences that might want them to change where they're living. They might need more space, they're outgrowing too many toys.
Or working at home. And I've had people, I had three families last year sell because equity was high and buy a bigger house because both of them are working from home, and they are now anticipating that they will both be permanently working from home. I mean, there's so many things that have changed. And the other thing, like Steph said, pay attention, because there's all these life events that they're talking about. Always, always, always comment. If there's a question to be asked, like somebody gets a new puppy, and I had a client last fall get a new puppy and posted it on Facebook. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. What breed is he? And she had to answer. So there's a conversation, because they're going to remember you more, because now you're having a conversation. And then I sent, and I really want you guys to hear this, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. I send them a little gift, not just a handwritten note when something like this happened. So I went to the store and bought a little inexpensive dog toy, put it in a little box, wrote a note, welcome to the family, whatever the dog's name was, because I can't remember now. Welcome to the family. I know your family's going to love you. Okay, this is the stuff, guys. I have a client that had 2 clients that had babies the end of last year. Now I have a very gifted mother who loves to sew and make things, so she makes baby blankets for me when people have babies and stuff. But just go get a little gift, or send them a gift card from Target or something, and send them a note. Okay, they're all posting it on Facebook, and they're all posting baby pictures. So because otherwise, if we don't pay attention, we won't necessarily know what's going on. But what a simple thing to do. Even if it's a new baby and you don't want to get a gift card, because sometimes gift cards, you don't want to be too cheap. You can buy a little baby toy or a bib, something small that isn't expensive. Put it in a little envelope, send it off. Hey, welcome to the world. So happy for you guys. This is, whatever. Those little extra steps, even if they haven't bought or sold a house with you yet, but they're in your database, they're a really big deal. Really big deal. So I would do that as well. But adding to the database by doing it through Facebook is probably the number one thing that I would do. So do you guys like, any other groups that you belong to that you can tap into are always good? Churches, school groups, if you have kids in school, that kind of stuff is another way to add to your database. The hard part is that we're not seeing each other right now. Groups aren't meeting, so that kind of puts us in a tough spot, because that was something that you're always, if you're in a church or some kind of networking group or anything, but nobody's meeting, so that does make it hard. Little bit about what Steph was talking about tracking who to call. There is something that is taught in Bold, and there's also a group. There's two Keller Williams MAPS coaches that teach something called the Never Ending Referrals. And it's, you have to subscribe to it, so you have to pay for it. But that's one of the things that I wanted to share. And I'll ask Steph to share as well. They have something, and it sounds silly, but Bold coaches came up. It's called DTD2. I have the schedule. Here's what they have come up with. You have a 12-week cycle. Each week, you're calling somebody different. And I will send this to Steph. Like week 1 was first week in January. So you called everyone whose last name started with either A or W. Okay, so that week you're calling A and W, but now they've added a text this group. I don't do that. If I'm either calling or texting everybody that's last name is A or W, the next week, B and E, the next week, D and O. So they have the schedule. And that way, I have them tagged in command. So I just created a tag. I pull up the A and W group, and I start calling them. And at the end of my call time, I'll mark off, okay, the last person I called was this person. And then you know who to pick up with. And the reason they did this, and that the last 2 weeks are really light, the reason they did this is that based on the percentages of people whose last names start with A and W, every group is right around between 8 and 10%. So it really does even out how many people you're calling each week. But then in week 12, which is well, week 12 and week 13 is I and Q and Y and Z. The reason they did that is it's about 1% of your database should have last names, because if you're behind, you have time at the end of the quarter to catch up. So I'll get this to Steph and she can send it out. And that Facebook Messenger, those scripts, I'll get that to her as well, so she can send that out. So if you're making these calls, doing them from your friends, and if you call and do a Facebook post around it on the from your friends, or you email, you're adding in touches there. That alone, if you think about it, if you're doing the call, the Facebook message, which will go to most people, the postcard, the birthdays, and the holidays, even if you don't get the Twilio text number and you set up the holiday and birthday smart plans to be an email instead, which you can do, and now you're not spending anything, or you just send it up to be in your tasks. So if it's set up that you go in tomorrow morning and it's just a reminder, and you make a call or send your own handwritten birthday card, or you do a social media post. There's so many ways to connect with everybody that you don't have to spend a lot of money. If you want to do, client parties, they've gotten way, way, way cheaper than what I've done in the past, guys. Up until last year, we rented the private deck at the BMO Harris Pavilion at Summerfest on July 3rd for the fireworks. And my top people came, and it was pretty special. That's really expensive. Well, I couldn't do it last year, so I had to figure something else out, and we couldn't do anything. But now we've all learned to pivot and shift and to see our people and not spend a ton of money. So even if you want to incorporate some kind of client party, it's pretty easy to do without spending a lot of money. One of the things that I heard this morning when I was listening to a group talk is in regards to From Your Friends. They're not using From Your Friends. There was a different system they were using. They're out of California, but what she is doing is that she's calling her database and tagging them on Facebook, looking for referrals to their favorite local restaurants. And then what she's doing is connecting with that restaurant doing a really quick little video interview and then posting it on Facebook, tagging them, and that everybody, and she's doing this weekly. You could do this monthly. Everyone that she talks to that is referring a local business to her, and she's doing specifically restaurants. She said, if you post it on my Facebook page and tag me and tag the restaurant, I will put your name in for a drawing. And then every Friday she picks a name and she sends them a $25 gift card to the restaurant that they recommended. Now you could do this once a month and build it up once a month and spend, $25 a month. And now again, you're touching people and you're supporting small business, so you're supporting your community. And what do you guys think of that? That's a pretty simple way.
That's
like
really
that.
cool. And I like the idea of leveraging the from your friend's system that you already would have in place if you're doing that. So you're kind of tacking on to something you're already doing.
Yeah, and Nate, that's exactly what my team talked about today, is exactly what you just said. For those of us that are already sending out from your friends, you're just taking on an extra layer to something that you're already doing, while supporting all these small businesses that we care about, that we want to give business to. Now, the only thing that I'm trying to be cognizant of is to make sure that the other businesses that we're trying to support have carry out for those people who aren't comfortable eating in, carry out or delivery.
Chris, would you be willing to send us doesn't need to be point by point, but kind of a little bit of a summary of what you just said there, so that because this is something I might be interested in
I'm working
implementing.
on doing that, and there's other people working on it as well. So I'd be happy to do that. We're trying to create a playbook, because we probably aren't going to put this giveaway into effect for another 30 to 60 days, because we're trying to only do one thing at a time, because there's too many other things to do. But yeah, I'm trying to create just a summary of, this is when the card goes out. This is when we're going to do a little video and email it. This is when we're going to do it on Facebook. Yeah, I'd be happy to send you what I have.
Thank you.
As soon as I get it done, I'm working on it, because I have all these notes, so I need to put them together in chronological order and say, okay, do this, do this, do this. And if I have something in there that we're going to text people, email them or text them from your phone. Create a group in your phone. You could create a group in your phone to just send the text out. Just a reminder, check your mailbox. You should be getting this month's offer, and ahead of time. So if you aren't doing from your friends and you decide to do that, you will get an email. Like, I already know what February is. So you get an email telling you who the next group is. So if you wanted to try and connect with them, far enough in advance. So there's so many things we can do that don't cost a lot of money anymore. And I would check out the other smart plans if you do decide to get the text number. Because there's so much out there to touch them.
I was just last week I was looking at smart plans. There's a St. Patrick's Day one coming up, and there's a Valentine's Day one coming up. So thinking about that, Nate, you could partner from your friends, send that out, and then there's a smart plan that you can send out to the same people. And the Valentine's Day smart plan says something along the lines of, thank you for being the heart of my business. And you could hack in there, because you can actually add verbiage in there and say, I hope you receive from your friend's card, if you haven't, be looking for it in the mail. And then it becomes this amazing marketing piece versus just a little, touch. Just a thought.
No, that's a great thought. We've actually have been trying to figure out, to do, that's on our list of what we were masterminding around. But you have to look at it. I mean, and if there isn't a holiday that month, that's fine. But whatever holidays are in that smart plan, you can customize the message. Because I would actually highly recommend you customize the birthday message, because the birthday smart plan just says happy birthday. And had I done that in the beginning, I wouldn't have had so many people going, who are you? I don't even know who you are. Customer, hey, just say happy birthday. It's Chris Ruskewicz with Keller Williams. Hope all is well and you have an amazing day. But pop your name in there, because otherwise they may not recognize. Okay, is there what questions do you have? Go ahead.
Sorry, I've been hesitant to use the Twilio. So I look at my business as, if I'm not making money, I can't put money out. So I use all the free stuff I can. So I use my command for marketing. I haven't been ready to use Twilio just yet. So instead of doing, a Twilio text, I'm calling my guys. One of the things that is part of that smart plan is to buy a card and get it in the mail on 3 days prior to the birthday. So you do that, and then I call and say, hey, happy birthday. I hope you got my card. And then there's also a social media post. So 3 touches. The difference is I'm not sending it through Twilio. I'm doing it. No big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see the value of Twilio. So I'm moving towards that investment, but not.
But you don't have to. And that's the beauty of it, is even if you set up that birthday smart plan, there's actually one to ask for birthdays as well. But call your people, get their birthdays. If you have it, put it in there. You can set up the smart plan and just remove the Twilio text, because you're still going to get the reminders. Like Catherine said, 3 days before. I go on Amazon and buy really cheap bulk birthday cards. I do send a handwritten birthday card. And if I have the kids' birthdays, I send the kids' birthday cards too. They're really cheap, and yeah, it sounds like a lot. It's not. Sunday night, I have 5 birthdays this week. It's not a big deal to just put it all together, put them in the mail. And you can search in command by birthdays and pull everybody up. So you could, if you're bored one day or you're sitting around and there's a snowstorm, just have cards on hand, because you can just kind of start making them out. And what I do is, where the stamp would go, I would write in pencil the date that it needs to be mailed. And then I used to do a whole month. I haven't lately, but I used to do a whole month. And then just put them in order, and then I could just put stamps on for that week and send them out. If you're organized and you do that, that's a big deal to remember somebody's birthday and send them a card that you signed by hand. I mean, there's services out there that do it, AM cards and stuff, but you know what? They know it's pre-printed. They know it's a service. Okay, what questions can I answer for you? Okay. Anything, stuff that I should add?
I think you gave them so much information, they're overwhelmed. I mean, it is hard. One of you guys had said, I forget who, maybe Catherine, but trying to just implement one thing. Even when you listen to someone like Jenny Wallach, you get all these ideas, or think about family reunion coming up, you're going to get all these ideas, and what you have to really focus on is, what will you actually execute? Don't go, okay, I'm going to put in 10 new things into my, portfolio of work products. No, do something that you will do, that you will follow through, and that you'll be good at, and that will benefit your business. So take it one chunk at a time, and maybe, 3 months from now, you come back and you revisit and, kind of highlight in your notes things that were exciting or appealing to you, and then go back and, say in March, you look back at what you learned from family reunion. I mean, it's 4 days of consuming information. And I would assume Chris, that like mega camp, that they will have family reunion recorded.
My
and
understanding from my, my
Yeah.
understanding from my coach is that you'll be able to go back in and replay
Yeah,
stuff
it was like 2
for-
weeks that we had
for a
access.
couple of weeks.
Yeah. So for dual careers, you know, you'll have access to it later. So yeah.
Okay, one thing that I would love to leave you with, if it's okay if I take 1 minute. I want to expand on what Steph just said. You can't do all this all at once. So I would think about, and I know Catherine, you're gonna know, you know where I'm going, and Katie, you know, because I also teach the one thing. I look at all of this, decide